Hi Tier 0 Meta, how are you doing? Make sure you guys smash the crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out on more Oz content. We have our first look at the new landscape post-OCG ban list out here. And you know, I am going to say what I'm going to say here. I don't think that they needed to blow out the meta the way they did because we already had two new decks that power crept the meta that were challenging things, which means now Dreadnators and the power of Malice is so much further ahead than the rest of the meta right now. It's actually kind of insane. And, you know, both these decks are up on the block for at least 2 more rounds of support. So, oh boy, you gotta love, you know, power creep actually occurring out here. So S tier, Dreadnator and friends, and then A, Malice. B, Labyrinth, Momento, Blue Eyes, and Voiceless. C tier, we have some Sky Strikers branded Runic, Legatia, and friends Tempai, and of course, some Azamina Snake Eye. D tier, Fire King, Rescue Ace, and Masterpiece and friends. And then we have Spiral, Zodiac, and Dino Morphia all the way down in the bottom. Oh man, how the mighty have fallen. But it is kind of cool to see people are testing out some Masterpiece ideas and seeing what they can actually test out against the meta. Let's pass on over to deck list. So starting things off here, we have your new Powerhouse in the room, 7th Tachyon Turbo, as we're going to call it. This deck aims to get as much searching in as it can, toggle for as many options as it can. We're now playing the Pot of Desires. Oh boy, we've reached the point out here where you want to be turboing through the deck to find these cards. I also see we are playing quite the rank 4 toolbox down here. You also do see the Malcharmy being cited now. Hey, when the best deck in the room doesn't really care too much about doing all the specials, okay. And then we have Malice. Now this is where all the craziness unfolds out here with this. Now this deck does have Apollosa, the TCG does not have Apo. So our version of the deck is probably going to look a little bit different. You know, a lot of the discussion comes down to, is Malice going to be the one that's going to break the TCG? TCG absolutely does love our combo decks, but seeing the Heat Soul in here as one of the cool new lines of play that you're able to access, I like that. All right, we also have Labyrinth. Now, Labyrinth's kind of tried to be the deck that tries to chum block out the other two decks by just being a generic Ring 4 stop deck, which realistically, I mean, you can do so. That's not a bad thing. I see we are playing the Labyrinth setup in here, and of course, we are doing double Pot of Extravagance so that we can find that draw power to be able to sculpt our hand and set up and play the game. Yeah, this is triple Typhoon as well. Okay, the things you got to do in order to keep up with the meta. All right, Momento! So, I'm curious if Momento is going to get more support because this deck was so close to touching the absolute like pinnacle of doing things. I see that Perulia is finding its mainstay in here instead of Fudawars. This deck is still got Apollosa. I do see we are doing the Ultimate Slayer in here to drop the Meteorologic Aggregator to board break our opponent. So of course we can set up our own field and play the game. This deck, once it goes, it is very scary to watch. Blue Eyes! We're down to 1 normal monster in the deck. Okay, well that wasn't on my agenda. You know, I knew we already cut it down to 2, but to see a build out here only playing 1 copy is so very interesting. I see we are doing the Ultimate Fusion shenanigans. Of course, Baron de Flor is our best friend in this deck. Having that generic negate that you're able to set up just does this deck so many wonders. If anything from this video, this is the interesting innovations. We also have Voiceless Voice in here. There's not a lot to take away with Voiceless Voice. Like, nothing has really changed in this deck. Okay, so like you have the Ultimate Slayers now to board break your opponent so that you can actually do what you need to do because it's broken. But on the other end of this, it's like the pool that's available to Voiceless Voice, it's so fair for the way that the deck plays now. So you don't get like the craziness that you were with this before. Ooh, Sky Strikers, triple upstart, triple engage, playing the 1 summon limit in here must be nice. Also, we're playing the Mecha Phantom Beast Link in here as well. I see that we are just getting away with some stupidly interesting things. And of course, Dominance Impulse, we're actually playing the 2 Sanctum in here as well. Okay, sure. All just so we can bring out Lancia to be able to stop our opponent from playing. Okay. We also have 60 card branded. Alright, well, first thing I see is double grass built into this. Goddess of the Third Eye. We are playing Dark Dragoon. This was going to be the natural deck in the OCG that was going to gravitate towards playing Dragoon, just because the deck has some really cool abilities about it. Alright, also Kaita Batara, all the tier cards. This is the pile, as we are going to call it. Actually hilarious to see. Alright, Runic Stun. Wow, we're playing the double D Fisher in the main deck. Stingers run into a Malice main, but that's fine. I also see that we are playing the Stygian, what is it, Dirge, the thing that powers or levels down monsters on the field as their floodgate. Okay, we're on the one Tyrant's Tirade, the one Rivalry, the one Goes, and the one There Can Only Be One, the one Skill Drain, and we're playing Strikes now. Wow, the fact that we've had to go to Strike of all things. Okay, I mean, I see nothing wrong here. All right. Next up is Centurion. Still, we're playing dualities now. So we can cheat out the Dragoon. You know, that's actually hilarious because the new Primus lets us do that. That's so cool. Why have I not thought of that before, actually? Huh, that's an idea. I didn't think about running dualities in this. Okay, that's cool to see. Next up is Tempai. I did see a masked dragon build earlier in the week playing this, but this is not the build. You are doing one Chandra, one Fadra, still doing the triple Pydra. You're focusing more so on the OTK line now ever than before. You do see the Ultimate Slayer being in there for the Dreadnator deck because I love losing to big monster that can chase me down. We also have Fadra, the 2 Book of Eclipse down here in the side deck. Yeah, everything for this looks like I would expect it to. Moving on along here, we have, oh man, the remnants of Snake Eye. 1 Engraver, 1 Lacrima. Still, you're going to play the package because you have no reason not to, right? Because if you do see, well, I mean, it's still 2 monsters, this full Fiendsmith combo out here. The only thing that they've done is they've reduced the number of integrals that you can, or intervals that you can go through the combo now. But this is being forced to play the Magician and Soul package in this deck is hilarious. Fire King, on the other hand, back here. We're still relying on the Ukalonics, as you can see. All the hits to Snake Eyes don't really matter to this form of the deck. You're still pretty much going through the same loops you were going through before, now with the Deceptions and Azamina stuff. The Ukalonics is just kind of meant to be here to help the deck out and maintain that form of consistency, but Siding Dominus Impulse. That is interesting. Okay. Moving on along here, we have, Rescue Ace. You know, this deck, just not even 3 months ago, was at the top of its game. It was doing everything it wanted to. And it's been getting close swept all the way through down here in terms of consistency. And I see that the OCG's just gutted out, doing Desiree and things. They're just like, hey, you know what? We'll go ahead and we'll play Lacrima. This is the best way to go about it. The fact that the OCG has stripped this down so much is hilarious. Oh, finally, we get to see Dino Morphia. We're playing triple Morganite, triple Duality, the triple card demise. Yes. The fact that we also get to play the Tribute the Opponent's Monster card, the Soul Exchange, is hilarious to me. Getting that Masterpiece out on the field is life or death out here. And also, you know, we are playing lose 1 turn and, of course, the Organism. This is beautiful. I love this. And then we have some Spiral action for you here. Now, Spiral is effectively back at, like, what, near everything that you want it to be. See, we are playing Droplets. I also see we are playing the Monster Reborn for Spiral in here as well. It's funny to me because years later out here on our side of the game, TCG is still so scared shitless to touch Spiral and revive it back when Spiral could have came back 2 years ago and maybe did a slight thing. But this deck still is incredibly fun to play. And then we have Zodiac. I was waiting on somebody to play Zodiac Turbo out here. So this is the Triple Zeus Express. The entire point of this deck is you are going to get to 1 monster and attack directly. Alright, the point of this is, though, like, you have to make sure that you don't lose to random boards, or you need to play board breakers to clean things up, and this deck is not doing that. We're playing Book of Moon instead, and Compulsory Evacuation Device. Interesting. and definitely not correct, but okay. And then we have Ryu G all the way down here at the bottom with the Dino Morphia stuff. His deck has been showing up every week. Somebody absolutely loves the idea that they can play all of these cards together. The idea of being able to see Zark and these combination cards, I think it's a cool idea, but it's not really tickling my fancy for the competitive side of this. So that is your breakdown for the OCG. I love what I'm seeing. Leave a comment down below, tell me what you guys think. I'll see your beautiful faces back here later today, guys. Peace. Patrons, thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.